Hey everyone. I wanted to take a moment to apologize for the lower visual quality in some of my recent videos. I know visuals matter, and I completely understand how that can affect the overall experience. I'm actively working on improving resolution, scaling, and overall presentation as I continue to grow and learn. If you took the time to watch and felt disappointed by the visuals, that's valid, and I appreciate the honest feedback. My focus has always been on atmosphere and storytelling, and I'm grateful to those who've stuck with my work while I work on improving the visual side. If you enjoy my content and would like to support my artistry directly, I do have a Patreon. Support there goes toward better tools, higher quality visuals, and more consistent releases. And it truly helps me improve what I create. Thank you for your patience, your support, and for being part of this journey. More improvements are coming.
My bathroom doesn't have a lock on the door. Never has. Just a simple handle, loose from age. The mirror though, that's new. I noticed it one night after work. I'd just finished brushing my teeth and reached for the door when I heard a soft click behind me. Not from the handle, from the mirror. I turned slowly. A thin metal bar had slid down along the mirror's edge, like a latch settling into place. The glass looked the same, but the reflection didn't feel like it belonged to me anymore. It lagged slightly, like it was deciding whether to copy my movements. I tried the door. It wouldn't open. I laughed nervously and knocked on it, half expecting the handle to jiggle loose. Nothing. The room felt smaller, tighter, as if the air had thickened. Then the mirror fogged over. Words appeared in the condensation, neat and careful. Almost done. What? I whispered. The latch slid back up with a soft metallic sound. The fog vanished. The door opened easily. I stepped out and didn't sleep much that night. The next evening, I paid closer attention. I showered with the curtain open, watching the mirror from the corner of my eye. Nothing happened. No latch, no fog. Relief crept in. Then I leaned closer to the sink, shoulders slumping as I exhaled. Click. The latch slid down again. I turned to face the mirror fully this time. My reflection smiled. I wasn't smiling. Just a moment, the reflection said quietly. The door handle refused to move. I tried to step back, but my reflection didn't. It stayed close to the glass, head tilted, studying me like a puzzle almost finished. The mirror fogged again. Stand still, it wrote. My chest tightened. I shook my head. No, I said. The reflection frowned, genuinely disappointed. The latch rattled. I closed my eyes, counted to 3, and opened them again. Everything was normal. Latch up. Clear glass. My reflection matching me perfectly. I left the bathroom slowly. The old woman was sitting on the bench outside my building that night. Grey coat, folded hands, watching my window. Don't let it finish, she said as I approached. Finish what? I asked. She looked at me, eyes sharp. Replacing the parts of you that hesitate, she said. Rooms like mirrors, bathrooms like stillness. What happens if it finishes? I asked. She sighed. You'll leave, she said, but it won't be you who does. That night, I tried an experiment. I rushed through my routine, brushed my teeth fast, kept my posture rigid, didn't linger. Nothing happened. Encouraged, I relaxed, just a little. Click. The latch dropped instantly. The reflection leaned closer. You're tired, it said. Let me help. The door wouldn't budge. The fog rolled in faster this time. Almost done, it wrote again. I slammed my palm against the mirror. The glass felt warm. Too warm. The latch trembled, then lifted slowly, reluctantly, like something being pulled away from a meal. I backed out and shut the bathroom door hard. I slept on the couch. Next morning, the latch was gone. No metal bar, no grooves, nothing. I thought it was over. That night, I noticed something subtle. My reflection blinked a fraction of a second late. I tested it again and again. Each time the delay grew. I stopped using the bathroom mirror entirely. I brushed my teeth facing the wall. I shaved using my phone camera. I avoided looking at my own face for longer than necessary. But tonight, I forgot. I leaned against the sink after a long day, shoulders dropping, breath slowing. Click. The latch returned. The reflection smiled wider than my face could manage. You rest so nicely, it said. The door wouldn't open. The mirror fogged one final time. This is where you stop. I stared at myself, heart pounding. Then I remembered the old woman's words. Don't let it finish. I moved, not away, forward. I pressed my forehead to the mirror. The glass burned cold and hot at the same time. My reflection recoiled. The latch rattled violently. I didn't blink, didn't step back, didn't let my body settle. The mirror cracked, not shattered, just a thin line from top to bottom. The latch snapped upward. The fog vanished. I stumbled out of the bathroom, gasping. The mirror is still cracked now. The latch hasn't returned. But sometimes, when I'm exhausted, when my shoulders sag just a little too much, I feel the air behind me change. And in the dark glass, my reflection watches me very carefully, waiting for me to stop resisting.
My phone charger has always been unreliable. You have to angle it just right or it won't charge at all. I've learned to live with that. What I didn't expect was for it to work perfectly while I wasn't awake. The first time I noticed was on a Tuesday. I went to bed with my phone at 14%, plugged in like always. I woke up to 100%. That wouldn't be strange if the charger hadn't failed the night before, or the night before that. I checked the battery usage graph. Charging started at 2:03 a.m. I was asleep by then. The next night, I stayed awake to watch it. I plugged the phone in and sat on the edge of the bed, scrolling, waiting, nothing. Battery stayed the same. At 1:45 a.m., I set the phone down and closed my eyes for just a moment. Not asleep, just resting. When I opened them again, the charging icon was on, green lightning bolt. Perfect connection. I sat up. The icon vanished. I tried again. Closed my eyes, the phone vibrated softly. Charging resumed. My chest tightened. I opened my eyes. Disconnected. That's when I realized the pattern. It only charged when I wasn't looking. The old woman was sitting on the bench outside my building the next evening. Gray coat, folded hands, watching the windows light up one by one. Some things don't like witnesses, she said as I passed. My charger only works when I'm asleep, I said. She nodded. Because that's when you're easiest to reach, she replied. Reach how? I asked. She glanced at my phone. Power flows better when the mind is quiet. That night, I tried to stay awake. Coffee, cold water, bright lights. I refused to let myself drift. At 3 a.m., my phone was still at 21%. The charger lay useless beside it. Exhaustion crept in anyway. My thoughts slowed. My body relaxed despite me. The screen dimmed. I woke suddenly to a faint humming sound, not from the charger, from the phone itself. The screen was glowing softly, even though it wasn't touched. Battery, 78%. Charging time, active. I picked it up. The hum stopped. The charge froze. When I set it back down, the hum resumed. Low content. I checked the battery graph again. Charging had started at 2:03 a.m., same time as before. Every night. No matter when I went to bed, I slept with the phone in another room. The charger followed. Not physically, but the charge still appeared. I turned the phone off completely. In the morning, it was warm. Battery full. The next evening, the old woman spoke again. It's borrowing something, she said. Electricity, I asked. She shook her head. No, attention, time. The part of you that isn't watching. That night, I dreamed I was plugged in. Not painfully, just connected. Something gentle flowing through me, counting quietly. I woke with the phone buzzing beside my pillow. Battery, 100%. Charging session, complete. I noticed something else. My alarm hadn't gone off. I'd slept through it. I checked the time. I was late for work. The battery graph showed a new detail, a thin gray bar beneath the charging line. System activity. The following nights, the charging started earlier. 1:50 a.m., 1:42, 1:30. I felt more tired during the day. Like something had taken the deepest part of my rest and left the rest behind. I tried sleeping without the phone in the apartment. Left it in my car. I woke at 2:03 a.m. anyway. My chest felt tight, like I'd been holding my breath for too long. When I checked the phone in the morning, it was fully charged, no charger attached. Last night, I stayed awake until dawn. I refused to sleep. The phone didn't charge. It stayed at 9%, but my hands shook. My vision blurred. My thoughts tangled. Around sunrise, I dozed for just a second. The phone vibrated immediately. Charging. I yanked the cord out of the wall. The hum continued. The old woman was gone today. The bench empty. The street quiet. Tonight, my phone is at 3%. The charger is plugged in. I'm so tired. And I'm starting to understand something. It doesn't need the outlet. It needs me to stop watching. And one night soon, I won't have the strength to stay awake anymore.
I live 2 blocks from the public library. It's small, old, and almost always empty in the evenings. I like it that way. A month ago, I checked out a book I don't remember choosing. No dramatic title. Plain cover. No author name on the spine. I assumed I grabbed it absent-mindedly. I read a few chapters that night. The writing was strange, not bad. Just intimate. Like the narrator knew when I paused, when I reread a sentence. Like it expected me to keep going. I returned it the next day. 2 nights later, it was on my kitchen table. Same book. Library stamp inside the cover. Due date slip tucked neatly back in place. I stood there for a long time, trying to remember if I'd gone back and checked it out again. I hadn't. The next morning, I walked straight to the library. The librarian scanned the book and frowned. "This was returned yesterday," she said. "On time." "I didn't return it," I replied. She glanced at the screen again. "System says you did. 8:42 p.m. That was impossible. I'd been home at that time." I left the book on the counter and walked out. That evening, the old woman was sitting on the bench across from the library entrance. Grey coat, folded hands, watching the glass doors reflect the streetlights. "Some books don't like to be unfinished," she said as I passed. I stopped. "Have you seen a book coming back on its own?" She nodded. "They remember where they were read," she said. "And who stopped?" I didn't like that answer. That night, the book was back on my table again. This time, it was open. The page I'd stopped on before was marked with a faint crease, like a finger had held it there. I read another chapter, then another. The narrator described a person sitting alone in an apartment, described the hum of the refrigerator, the distant traffic, the way exhaustion settles into the shoulders. It described me. I snapped the book shut and put it in a drawer. The next morning it was gone. Relief washed over me, until I got a notification from the library. Overdue notice. 1 day late. I went back immediately. The librarian looked nervous when she saw me. "You shouldn't keep checking it out," she said quietly. "I'm not," I replied. She leaned closer. "It keeps checking itself out to you. What happens if I don't return it?" "What happens if I don't return it?" I asked. She swallowed. "No one ever finds out," she said. "They just stop coming in." That night, the book was waiting on my bed. I didn't touch it. I slept on the couch. Around 2 a.m., I heard the soft sound of pages turning. Slow, careful, like someone reading in the dark. The next chapter had been added. It described a person lying awake, listening to the sound of a book being read in another room. The old woman was outside again the next evening. "You're almost done," she said. "I don't want to finish it," I replied. She nodded. "That's why it's worried." "What happens when it finishes?" I asked. She looked at the library. "At that point," she said, "it knows where to shelve you." That night, I did something reckless. I took the book back to the library and placed it on a random shelf. Not the return desk. Not its proper section. I left. When I got home, every light in my apartment was on. The book sat on the couch, open to the final chapter. The writing was shaky now. Urgent. It described a person trying to avoid being understood, trying to stay unread. The last line wasn't printed. It was handwritten. "Please." I closed the book carefully, didn't slam it, didn't rush. I placed it in a bag and walked back to the library. The doors were locked, lights off, empty. I slid the book through the return slot. For the first time, nothing came back. A week passed. Then, too, I started to relax. Yesterday, I received a notification. "Thank you for your donation. Archived." I don't go to the library anymore. But sometimes, when I walk past at night, I see a light on in the back room. And through the window, I swear I can see someone standing very still between the shelves, holding a book, reading carefully, like they finally found a place for me.
My apartment has one of those old hallway closets with a pull-string light. No switch on the wall, just a thin cord hanging from the ceiling. You pull it once, light on. Pull it again, light off. Simple. The first time I noticed something wrong. I was halfway down the hall when I saw a glow spilling out from under the closet door. Warm, yellow light. I knew I'd turned it off. I'm careful about that. Fire hazards make me nervous. I opened the door. The light was on. I pulled the string. It clicked off immediately. I stood there for a second, listening. The apartment was quiet. No hum, no movement. I closed the door and walked away. Behind me, a stairs click. I turned around slowly. Light again. The same soft glow beneath the door. That night, I left the closet open. Light off. I wanted to see if it would turn on while I was watching. It didn't. Around midnight, I got up for water. The hallway was dark. The closet was dark. I poured my drink, took a sip, and heard it. The soft click of the pull string. The light came on. I hadn't been looking at the door. The old woman was sitting on the bench outside the building the next evening. Gray coat, folded hands, watching the entrance, like she expected someone to come out, who never would. My closet light keeps turning on by itself, I said. She nodded. They like enclosed spaces, she said. Rooms that agree to be small. What turns it on? I asked. She looked at me carefully. Not what, she said. When? That didn't help. I tried an experiment. I stood in the hallway with the closet door open, eyes fixed on the light. It stayed off. I stepped into the bathroom, still watching it through the mirror. Nothing. I closed the door. Asterisk click. The light turned on instantly. I opened the door again. Light still on, like it wanted me to see the result. I pulled the string. Off. Closed the door. Click on again. That night, I slept with the hallway light on. The closet stayed dark. The next morning, I noticed the pull string was shorter. Not dramatically. Just an inch or two. Like it had been tugged too hard too many times. I hadn't touched it. The following night, I ignored the closet entirely. Stayed in my bedroom. Door closed. At 2:11 a.m. I heard the click again. Then another. Rapid, impatient. I opened my bedroom door. The hallway glowed brightly. Light pouring from under the closet door, brighter than it should have been. I opened the closet slowly. The light was on. The string hung perfectly still. Inside the closet, my coats swayed slightly. Not like they'd been bumped. Like someone had just moved past them. I shut the door hard and didn't open it again until morning. The old woman was gone for 3 days after that. On the fourth night, the pull string light turned on while I was asleep. I woke to the glow leaking under my bedroom door. When I stepped into the hallway, I noticed something new. The closet door was warm, not the handle, the entire surface. Like it had been holding heat. I opened it. The light was on. The air inside smelled stale, not musty, not dusty. Used. The pull string brushed my hand. It twitched, just slightly. I stepped back. The string swayed once, then again. Then it pulled itself. Click. The light turned off. Darkness swallowed the closet. Before I could react, click on again. I didn't touch it. The string hung lower now, noticeably lower. That night, the old woman returned. You shouldn't let it practice, she said calmly. Practice what? I asked. She looked toward my apartment door, turning the light on for itself. I stared at her. That doesn't make sense, she sighed. Closets are agreements, she said. You agree not to look. They agree not to open. What happens if that agreement breaks? She met my eyes. Then, it needs light to learn the rest. That night, I taped the closet door shut. Duct tape, thick strips, top to bottom. The light stayed off. I slept for the first time in days. In the morning, the tape was still there. Undisturbed, but the light was on. I didn't open the door. I packed a bag and stayed with a friend. When I returned 2 days later, the apartment smelled warm. Lived in, the closet door was open. Inside, the light was off. The pull string lay coiled neatly on the floor, much longer than it used to be, like it had been stretched or lowered. I closed the closet carefully and didn't turn the light on. That night, as I lay in bed, I heard the soft sound of fabric shifting, then asterisk, click. The hallway filled with light. The closet door didn't open. The light just stayed on. Like it was waiting for me to notice, like it wanted me to see how much room there really was inside.